So next chapter is locomotion and movement. നമുക്ക് അതിലെ പ്രീവിയസ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസിലൂടെ ഒന്ന് പോവാം. Select the correct matching group with respect to the locomotion. Movement and locomotion. Kinesiology. Study of locomotion or movement. Study of locomotion called as kinesiology. And there are different types of movement in animals. Different types of movement includes, first one, amoeboid movement. Amoeboid movement. Amoeba-like movement called as amoeboid movement. Amoeboid movement means, suppose this one is a cell having cytoplasm, nucleus and cytoplasm. The cytoplasm contains cytoskeletons. That cytoskeleton helps to propel or extension of cytoplasm towards one region. So which causes the streaming movement of cytoplasm. The cytoskeleton helps in the streaming movement of cytoplasm. The streaming movement of cytoplasm helps in the formation of this extension called as pseudopodia. And the movement with the help of the streaming movement of cytoplasm and pseudopodia called as amoeboid movement. This amoeboid movement seen in amoeba shows amoeboid movement, and this type of amoeboid movement can seen in human body too. In human body, this amoeboid movement seen in WBCs. Movement of our WBCs are amoeboid. Movements of macrophages in our body. Macrophages movement also amoeboid movement. Okay. So these are the organisms and cells having this amoeboid movement. In our body too, this amoeboid movement takes place, like WBCs, macrophages shows this amoeboid movement. Next is ciliary movement. Next type of body movement is ciliary movement. Ciliary movement means the movement by the beating of cilia. The ciliary movement seen in Paramecium. The protozoan like Paramecium, then Vorticella or bell animalcule or Vorticella, and also seen in human body too. In human body, the ciliary movement seen in fallopian tube. Ciliary movement can seen in fallopian tube. Ciliary movement seen in fallopian tube. Then spinal canal, respiratory tract, ventricles of brain, etc. Ciliary movements in. So ciliary movement in human body too. Third one is flagellar movement. The movement by the beating of long flagella is called as flagellar movement. This flagellar movement seen in protozoans like Trypanosoma. Another example is human spermatozoa. Movement of sperm or spermatozoa is flagellar movement. Human sperm movement or spermatozoa movement is flagellar movement. Okay, so these are the different types of movement. This type of movement, this flagellar movement seen in human. In human, that flagellar movement is shown by spermatozoa. Then next is muscular movement. Most of our body movements are muscular movement. Muscular or muscles means the tissue responsible for body movements are called as muscles. So most of our body movements are muscular movement. So muscular movement, our body, most of our body, almost all body movements are muscular movement with the help of muscles. by the contraction of muscles are called as muscular movement. These are the different types of body movements in animals. And here there are different types of locomotory organs too in animals. Here annelids. We know annelids are both aquatic and terrestrial annelids are present, both aquatic and terrestrial annelids. Aquatic annelids have parapodia for locomotion. Aquatic annelids have parapodia for locomotion. Then terrestrial annelids have setae for locomotion. So parapodia are the locomotor organ in aquatic annelids for swimming. Setae are the locomotor organ in terrestrial annelids. Example earthworm. So annelids, parapodia and setae matching. Then arthropods, jointed legs and wings. Arthropods, the word arthropoda means jointed footed animals. So they have jointed foot or jointed leg. And some arthropods have wings like insects. Insects arthropodil thanne varunille. Avarku wings ennu parayunna oru flight ennu adaptation vendi modify cheyidirikkille. So arthropods have jointed legs and wings matching. Mollusk, muscular foot and arms. In mollusk, see in their body, they have head, visceral hump and muscular foot for locomotion. But the long arms are absent in mollusks. No arms, but arms are seen in some echinodermates. But in mollusk, there is no arms. Arms are absent in mollusk. So they have muscular foot is there, but no arms. So it is wrong. Mollusk, muscular foot is there, but no arms. So C is wrong. Then D. Vertebrates, legs and wings. Vertebrates means fishes, amphibian, reptiles, birds and mammals. അതിൽ ഫിഷ് അല്ലാതെ ബാക്കിയുള്ള എല്ലാ വെർട്ടിബ്രേറ്റ്സും ലൈക്ക് ടെട്രാപോഡ്സ് എന്ന ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ വരുന്നവർക്കെല്ലാം ലിംസ് ഉള്ളവരാണ് ഓർ ലെഗ് ട്രൂ ആണ്. ആൻഡ് വിങ്സ്, വെർട്ടിബ്രേറ്റ്സ് ലൈക്ക് ബേർഡ്സ് ഹാവ് വിങ്സ്. അപ്പോൾ വെർട്ടിബ്രേറ്റ്സിൽ ലെഗ്സ് ഉള്ളവരുണ്ട്, വിങ്സ് ഉള്ളവരുണ്ട്. കറക്റ്റ് അല്ലേ? ദെൻ ഹെൽമിന്തസ് മീൻസ് വേംസ്. ദർ ഇസ് നോ ടെൻഡക്കിൾസ് ഇൻ വേംസ്. ടെൻഡക്കിൾസ് കാണിപ്പം സിലിണ്ടറേറ്റ്സിലുണ്ട് ടെൻഡക്കിൾസ് ലൈക്ക് ടീനോഫോറൻസ് ടെൻഡക്കിൾ കാണപ്പെടുന്നുണ്ട്, മോളുസ്കൻസിൽ കാണപ്പെടുന്നുണ്ട്. But no tentacles in worms. Worms lang na tentacles illa. Then tube feet. Tube feet are the locomotor organ in echinodermates. Echinodermates il കാണുന്ന locomotor organ ആണ് tube feet, not in helminths or worms. So correct matching group A is matching, B is matching and D. A, B, D. Which option? A, B and D is option 1. So answer is option 1. Next one. Amoeboid, ciliary, flagellar movement exhibited by different cells or structures in human body or respectively. See in our body amoeboid movement seen in WBCs as well as macrophages. Then flagellar movement, ciliary movement seen in oviduct or fallopian tube have ciliary movement. Then flagellar movement shown by sperm. So which option? Answer option 3. Okay. Next, correct the matching set regarding striated muscle. See, I told you most of the body movements are muscular movement. Then here in muscles, there are three types of muscles in our body. Muscles are skeletal muscles, visceral muscles and cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscles, visceral muscles and cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscle, cylindrical in shape, visceral muscle, spindle shape, visceral muscles spindle shape. Cardiac muscles, they are also cylindrical. Cardiac muscles are cylindrical. So skeletal muscle cylindrical, visceral muscle spindle shaped, cardiac muscle cylindrical. Skeletal muscle unbranched, visceral muscles unbranched, cardiac muscles branched muscles. Cardiac muscle, branched muscle. Skeletal muscles, striations are there. Skeletal muscles striated. Visceral, non-striated. Cardiac muscle, striated. Cardiac muscles are striated muscle. Okay. Then the skeletal muscles are multinucleated. Skeletal muscles multinucleated. Visceral muscles uninucleated. Cardiac muscles uninucleated. Skeletal muscles voluntary. Visceral muscle involuntary. Cardiac muscles are also involuntary. Okay. So these are the three types of muscles. And here we are going to learn about the skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles. Suppose this one is a skeletal muscle bundle. This is a skeletal muscle bundle formed of skeletal muscles. This is a skeletal muscle bundle formed of skeletal muscle. This skeletal muscle bundle called as fascicle. So skeletal muscle formed of parallel arranged muscle bundles. This parallel arranged muscle bundles, fascicles. So suppose this one is a skeletal muscle. This is a skeletal muscle. This skeletal muscle composed of number of muscle cells. This is a muscle. This is a skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle composed of muscle cells. This muscle cells, this skeletal muscle composed of muscle cells. These muscle cells are called as muscle fibers. Muscle cells are called as muscle fibers. So what is muscle fiber? Means muscle cells are called as muscle fiber. This muscle fiber composed of numerous myofilaments. Muscle cells are composed of myofilaments. These myofilaments are mainly actins or thin filaments or secondary filaments. Actins or thin filaments or secondary filaments, and myosin or thick filaments or the primary filaments. Myosin or thick filaments or primary filaments. So this is the arrangement of skeletal muscle. And here the skeletal muscle cells are called as muscle fiber. Muscle fiber means skeletal muscle cells. Skeletal muscle cells are called as muscle fiber. Suppose this is a skeletal muscle cell. And this is the outermost delimiting membrane or plasma membrane. This plasma membrane of a skeletal muscle cell. Plasma membrane of a skeletal muscle cell called as sarcolemma. The plasma membrane of a skeletal muscle cell called as sarcolemma. Plasma membrane of a skeletal muscle cell called as sarcolemma. This is protoplasm. This protoplasm is called as sarcoplasm. Protoplasm of muscle cells are called as sarcoplasm. Protoplasm called as sarcoplasm. Then this protoplasm contain nucleus and they are multinucleated. Multinucleated. The skeletal muscle cells are multinucleated. This condition is called as syncytium. Syncytium. Syncytium means multinucleated animal cells are called as syncytium. So multinucleated or syncytium skeletal muscle cells are called as syncytium. Then next is their cytoplasm contain endoplasmic reticulum. This endoplasmic reticulum of skeletal muscle cells are called as sarcoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum called as sarcoplasmic reticulum, which is a storehouse of calcium. Then mitochondria also present. This mitochondria present called as sarcosomes. Mitochondria present in a skeletal muscle cells are called as sarcosomes. This is the structure of a skeletal muscle. So here, first next question. Correct the matching set regarding striated muscle. Muscle fiber. What is muscle fiber? Muscle cell or myocyte. Myo means muscle. Cyte means cell. So muscle cell or myocyte. Syncytium, sarcoplasmic reticulum is wrong. Syncytium means multinucleated condition. Sarcolemma, muscle cell membrane. Yes, muscle cell membrane called as sarcolemma. Correct. Sarcosomes, ribosome is wrong. Sarcosomes means mitochondria are called as sarcosomes. Myofilaments, actin and myosin. Correct. Sarcoplasm, cytoplasm of muscle cell. So here 1 true, 1 correct, 3 correct, then 4, 5 correct, 1, 3, 5 and 6. 1, 3, 5 and 6. Which option? Option 1. Answer option 1. Then select the correct set of statements with respect to the muscles. Let's see the structure of muscle in detail. So the ultrastructure of myofilaments. Ultrastructure of myofilaments. Suppose this is a myofilament. These myofilaments contain alternate dark and light bands. Alternate dark and light bands are seen in these myofilaments. Alternate dark and light bands are present. So alternate dark band, this dark band is called as A band or anisotropic band, and the light band is called as I band or isotropic band, I band or isotropic band. So dark band and light band, A band and I band. This A band contain, A band means dark band, this A band contain a central line. A central line passes through the middle of A band is called as M line. And here to this M line, the thick filaments or myosins are firmly attached here. The thick filaments or myosins are firmly attached here. The thick filaments, or it is called as myosin, or it is primary filament. So the primary filament or myosin or thick filaments are firmly attached to this M line in this A band. So A band means darkly stained because of the position of this thick filament. So darkly stained at the thick filament or the myosin or the primary filaments are found in this A band, and they are very firmly attached to this M line. Then at the center of I band, a medial line present at the center of I band. This medial line present at the center of I band is called as Z line. A medial line seen at the center of I band is called as Z line. The thin filaments or actin filaments are very firmly attached to this Z line. The thin filaments or actin filaments are very firmly attached to this Z line. The thin filaments or actin filaments are very firmly attached to this Z line. So actin or thin filaments are very firmly attached to this Z line. So I band contains the thin filament or the secondary filament or actin. A band contains thick filament or the primary filament. Here, see, these are the ends of I band, ends of A band. At the end of both the ends of A band, myosins are just overlapped by actin in a resting muscle. Both the ends of A band in the two vashangal nokkiyal, the myosins are overlapped by actin. But at the middle of I band, the middle of A band, the myosins are not overlapped by actin. Myosin overlap with actin കാണാത്ത region ഉണ്ട്. That region is called as H zone. That region is H zone. ഇതാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ resting. That means this A band contain both the primary and secondary filament എ ബാൻഡിൽ മെയിൻലി കാണുക മയോസിൻ എന്ന തിക്ക് ഫിലമെൻ്റ് ആണ്, ബട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ എൻഡിൽ ആക്റ്റിൻ എന്ന ഫിലമെൻ്റ് കൂടെ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. സോ അതാണ് സ്ട്രക്ചർ. സോ നമുക്കിവിടെ നോക്കാം. ദെൻ ഹിയർ this Z line means the region between two adjacent, see these are two Z line, the region between two adjacent Z line is called as sarcomere. Sarcomere is the region between two adjacent Z line. നമുക്ക് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചെയ്യാം. Select the correct statement with respect to muscle. Sarcoplasm of muscle fiber contain parallelly arranged myofibrils. Correct ആണ്, parallel ആയിട്ട് myofibril arrange ചെയ്തു വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. True. Myofibrils show alternate arrangement of actin and myosin filament. Alternate actin, myosin, actin filaments are there. So alternate arrangement of actin and myosin is there. True. Isotropic band contain only primary filament. I band contain only primary filament is wrong. There is no primary filament in I band. I band contain only secondary filament. Then Z line bisect I band. Yes, I band bisect is Z line കാണുന്നു. Z line bisect I band. Then M line held together the thin filaments in the middle of A band. Wrong. M line എന്ന് പറയുന്ന thick filament ആണ് അവിടെ held ചെയ്യുന്നത്, thin filaments നെ അല്ല. So anisotropic band, that means A band contain primary and secondary filament. Correct ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ 1 correct ആണ്, 2 correct ആണ്, 3 wrong ആണ്, 4 correct ആണ്, 5 correct ആണ്, 6 wrong ആണ്. So 1, 2, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 4 and 5. Answer option 2. Read the following statement and select the incorrect one about myosin monomer. Incorrect one about myosin monomer. See, myosin means thick filament or the secondary filaments. Myosin or thick filaments or secondary filament. Each myosin consists of a monomeric unit. The monomeric unit of myosin is called as meromyosin. Monomeric unit of myosin is called as meromyosin. This is the monomeric unit. And this meromyosin have a globular head and a long tail. It has a globular head and long tail. This globular head is called as heavy meromyosin, HMM, and the tail is called as light meromyosin or LMM. The tail is called as light meromyosin or LMM. So heavy meromyosin and light meromyosin. Okay. First one, in heavy meromyosin എടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ this head region, this heavy meromyosin have a cross arm. The cross arm region is here. Then this head, the heavy meromyosin contain two binding site. It has a actin binding site. Actin എന്ന പ്രോട്ടീൻ ബൈൻഡ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള സൈറ്റ് കാണുന്നു. It has a actin binding site. It has a actin binding site. Another one, a ATP binding site. ATP binding site with ATPase activity. ATP binding site with ATPase activity. ഇതാണ് ഒരു meromyosinന്റെ സ്ട്രക്ചർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. This is meromyosin. എന്നാൽ നമ്മൾ ആക്റ്റിൻ ആണ് എടുക്കുന്നതെങ്കിൽ ഇത് പ്രൈമറി ഫിലമെന്റ് എന്ന തിക്ക് ഫിലമെന്റ് മയോസിന്റെ സ്ട്രക്ചറാണ്. എന്നാൽ ആക്റ്റിൻ എടുത്താൽ ആക്റ്റിൻ ഈസ് കമ്പോസ്ഡ് ഓഫ് ദ മോണോമറിക് യൂണിറ്റ് ഓഫ് ആക്റ്റിൻ ഈസ് കോൾഡ് ആസ് G-actin. G-actin is the monomeric unit of actin. ആക്റ്റിൻ്റെ മോണോമറിക് യൂണിറ്റ് ആണ് G-actin. ഈ G-actin പോളിമറൈസ് ചെയ്ത് പോളിമറൈസേഷൻ കിടന്ന് നമുക്ക് ഫിലമെന്റ് ആക്റ്റിൻ കിട്ടും. സോ G-actin പോളിമറൈസ്ഡ് ആവുന്നു. This G-actin undergo polymerization to form the filamentous actin. It undergo polymerization to produce the filamentous actin. Okay, this is called as F-actin. This filamentous actin is called as F-actin. Filamentous actin. And two proteins in associated with here. two proteins in associated with this F actin. They are tropomyosin and one more protein, troponin. Tropomyosin and troponin. This protein troponin have a calcium binding site. This protein troponin have a calcium binding site. This is the structure of actin. Okay. One more structure. This each actin molecule. Each actin molecule have a active site. Active site for binding with this myosin. This is actin binding site. This active site of actin get binded with the myosin. But in the resting muscle, this active site is masked by troponin. In a resting muscle, this active site is masked by troponin. These are the filamentous protein, actin and myosin. So, question. Read the following statement and select the incorrect one about myosin monomer. Meromyosin is the monomeric protein, consists of two parts. Yes, it has a heavy meromyosin and light meromyosin. True. Then HMM constitute the globular head and long short arm. Correct. Cross arm is the LMM component of meromyosin. Cross arm is long, LMM is wrong. Cross arm is HMM part. Then globular head show magnesium and ATPase activity. Correct. So here the answer is option 3. Find the correctly matched pair. Next is the mechanism of muscle contraction and nervous system. See, muscle, the signal for muscle contraction is developed from central nervous system. The signal for muscle contraction is developed from central nervous system. Central nervous system send a motor signal. Through the motor neurons. Send a motor signal through the motor neuron. Motor signal to the motor neurons. Okay. To send signal through the motor neuron to the muscle fiber. This sends signal to the muscle fiber. So this is a muscle fiber, means muscle cells are called as muscle fiber. This motor neuron along with this muscle fiber, this is muscle fiber. This motor neurons along with the muscle fiber called as motor unit. Motor neuron along with the muscle fiber called as motor unit. Okay, it is called as motor unit. And here, the junction between the axon of motor neuron and this is the sarcolemma. This is called as sarcolemma, muscle cell membrane called as sarcolemma. The junction between motor neuron and sarcolemma, this junction is called as neuromuscular junction. Neuromuscular junction or motor end plate. Neuromuscular junction or motor end plate. Okay. So the junction between motor neuron and muscle fiber or sarcolemma is called as neuromuscular junction. It is called as neuromuscular junction. So this is the neuromuscular, this is motor unit, this entire system is motor unit, this is neuromuscular junction. So the central nervous system sends a motor signal to the motor neuron. And this motor neuron release acetylcholine. It is the only neurotransmitter found in this neuromuscular junction. Acetylcholine is the only neurotransmitter found in this neuromuscular junction. As a result, the sarcolemma have acetylcholine receptors. So the central nervous system sends a motor signal, motor neuron release acetylcholine. Acetylcholine react with acetylcholine receptors of neuromuscular junction. It react with acetylcholine receptors of neuromuscular junction. So acetylcholine is the only neurotransmitter here. When acetylcholine bind on the acetylcholine receptors of sarcolemma, action potential formed here. So action potential formed in sarcolemma. Action potential formed in sarcolemma. This action potential formed in sarcolemma are transmitted to the sarcoplasmic reticulum through the T-tubulin. T-tubulin വഴി അത് sarcoplasmic reticulumത്തിലേക്ക് ആ ഇമ്പൾസിനെ റിലീസ് ചെയ്യും. This sarcoplasmic reticulum then releases calcium to the sarcoplasm. സൈറ്റോപ്ലാസത്തിലേക്ക് കാൽഷ്യത്തെ റിലീസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഇങ്ങനെ കാൽഷ്യത്തെ റിലീസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് മുമ്പായി ഇത് ആക്റ്റിൻ, ഇത് മയോസിനും. ആക്റ്റിൻ്റെ ആക്റ്റീവ് സൈറ്റിനെ ട്രോപ്പോണിൻ ഇങ്ങനെ മാസ്ക് ചെയ്ത് വെച്ചിരിക്കുകയാണ്. But when this calcium bind on this troponin, when this calcium get bind on troponin, what happened? This troponin remove the masking from actin. Actin നിന്ന് troponin masking അങ്ങ് remove ആവും. As a result, now this actin can bind with the myosin. Actin bind with the myosin. That means the cross bridge formed. The cross bridge formed here. Actually cross bridge form ചെയ്തേണ്ട ഈ ആക്റ്റിൻ മയോസിനുകൾ ജസ്റ്റ് ഓവർലാപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഈ റീജിയനിലാണ് ക്രോസ് ബ്രിഡ്ജ് ഫോം ചെയ്തത്. ആ ഓവർലാപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്ന റീജിയനിൽ ഈ ക്രോസ് ബ്രിഡ്ജ് ഫോം ചെയ്താൽ ദിസ് ക്രോസ് ബ്രിഡ്ജസ് പുൾ ദ ആക്റ്റിൻ, രണ്ട് സൈഡിൽ നിന്നും ആക്റ്റിനെ സെൻറ്ററിലേക്ക് വലിക്കും. പുൾ ദ ആക്റ്റിൻ ടുവേർഡ്സ് എ സെൻറ്റർ, ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് ഇങ്ങോട്ടും വലിക്കും. എന്തായിരിക്കും സംഭവിക്കുക? ഈ സാഡ് ലൈനും ആക്റ്റിനോട് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ മൂവ് ചെയ്ത് എ ബാൻഡിനകത്തേക്ക് വന്നങ്ങ് ഷോർട്ടൻ ചെയ്യും. രണ്ട് സൈഡിൽ നിന്ന് ആക്റ്റിൻ ഇങ്ങനെ മൂവ് ചെയ്തു വന്ന് എ ബാൻഡിനകത്തേക്ക് വന്നങ്ങ് കയറും. സോ സാഡ് ലൈൻ ഷോർട്ടൻ, ഇവിടെ ഇരുന്ന രണ്ട് സാഡ് ലൈൻ ഇപ്പോൾ എ ബാൻഡിനകത്തേക്ക് ഒന്ന് മെർജ് ചെയ്തു. സാഡ് ലൈൻ ഷോർട്ടൻ, ഐ ബാൻഡ് ഷോർട്ടൻ, സാഡ് ലൈൻ ഷോർട്ടൻ ചെയ്തു, ഐ ബാൻഡ് ഷോർട്ടൻ ചെയ്തു. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ സാർക്കോമിയർ. നേരത്തെ ഇത്രയും വരുന്ന സാർക്കോമിയർ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? ഷോർട്ടൻ ചെയ്തു. സാഡ് ലൈൻ ഷോർട്ടർ, then ഐ ബാൻഡ് ഷോർട്ടൻ, സാർക്കോമിയർ ഷോർട്ടൻ ചെയ്തു. ആക്റ്റിൻ കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി ഓവർലാപ്പ് മയോസിൻ. ഇപ്പം മയോസിനെ ആക്റ്റിൻ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഓവർലാപ്പ് ചെയ്തു. ആക്റ്റിൻ കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി ഓവർലാപ്പ് മയോസിൻ. ആക്റ്റിൻ കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി സ്ലൈഡ് ഓവർ മയോസിൻ. മയോസിനെ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ആക്റ്റിൻ അങ്ങ് സ്ലൈഡ് ഓവർ ചെയ്തു. ആക്റ്റിൻ കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി ഓവർലാപ്പ് മയോസിൻ. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ എച്ച് സോൺ ഉണ്ടോ? നേരത്തെ ഓവർലാപ്പ് ചെയ്യാത്തിരുന്ന റീജിയനിലെ എച്ച് സോൺ, ഇത് ഫുൾ ഓവർലാപ്പ് ആയപ്പോൾ എച്ച് സോൺ അവിടെ ഡിസപ്പിയർ ആയി. എച്ച് സോൺ ഡിസപ്പിയർ. ദിസ് ഈസ് കോൾഡ് ആസ് മസിൽ കോൺട്രാക്ഷൻ. ഇങ്ങനെ മസിൽ കോൺട്രാക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഇനി ഈ ആക്റ്റിൻ മയോസിനുമായിട്ട് ബൈൻഡ് ചെയ്തത് ഒരു മോളിക്യൂൾ ATP ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ടാണ് ബൈൻഡ് ചെയ്തത്. അതായത് ഒരു മോളിക്യൂൾ ATP കൺസ്യൂം ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് ആക്റ്റിൻ മയോസിനുമായിട്ട് ബൈൻഡ് ചെയ്തത്. ഇനി വീണ്ടും ഒരു അടുത്ത മോളിക്യൂൾ ATP ഒന്നിവിടെ ബൈൻഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഈ ക്രോസ് ബ്രിഡ്ജ് ബ്രോക്കൺ ചെയ്യും, മസിൽ റിലാക്സ്ഡ് ആകും. ഈ പ്രോസസ്സ് ഇങ്ങനെ മസിൽ കോൺട്രാക്ഷൻ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കും till the calcium ion completely return back to the sarcoplasmic reticulum. അത് ഫുള്ള് സാർക്കോപ്ലാസ്റ്റിലേക്ക് തിരിഞ്ഞു പോകുന്നത് വരെയും ഈ മസിലിൻ്റെ കോൺട്രാക്ഷൻ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടേയിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ഇതാണ് ആ മസിൽ കോൺട്രാക്ഷൻ പ്രത്യേകത. സോ നമുക്ക് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നോക്കാം. ഫൈൻഡ് ദ കറക്റ്റ്ലി മാച്ച്ഡ് പെയർ. മോട്ടോർ യൂണിറ്റ്, എ സെൻസറി ന്യൂറോൺ ആൻഡ് മസിൽ ഫൈബർ കണക്റ്റഡ് ടു ഇറ്റ്. എ സെൻസറി ന്യൂറോൺ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ റോങ് ആണ്. മോട്ടോർ ന്യൂറോണും മസിൽ ഫൈബറും കൂടാണ് പറയേണ്ടത്. സെൻസറി ന്യൂറോൺ റോങ് ആണ്. സോ റോങ് ആണ് ഫസ്റ്റ് വൺ. സെക്കൻഡ് വൺ, മോട്ടോർ എൻഡ് പ്ലേറ്റ്, ദ സൈറ്റ് വെയർ എ സെൻസറി ന്യൂറോൺ ആൻഡ് സാർക്കോപ്ലാസം ഓഫ് മസിൽ ഫൈബർ. റോങ്. മോട്ടോർ ന്യൂറോൺ, നോട്ട് സെൻസറി ന്യൂറോൺ. അസറ്റൈൽകൊളൈൻ റിസപ്റ്റേഴ്സ് പ്രസൻറ്റ് ഇൻ ദ പ്ലാസ്മ മെംബ്രെയിൻ ഓഫ് മോട്ടോർ ന്യൂറോൺ. മോട്ടോർ ന്യൂറോൺ അത് റിലീസ് ചെയ്യാണ് അസറ്റൈൽകൊളൈനെ. അതിൻ്റെ റിസപ്റ്റർ കാണപ്പെടുക സാർക്കോലമ്മയിലാണ്. Acetylcholine is the only neurotransmitter released by the neurons in neuromuscular junction. Yes, true. So answer option 4. Then during muscle contraction, which of the following event occur? മസിൽ കോൺട്രാക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ടൈമിൽ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് ഇതിൽ നടക്കുന്ന ഇവൻറ്റ്സ്? ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് ദ തിക്ക് ആൻഡ് തിൻ മയോസിൻ ഫിലമെന്റ് ഹാസ് ചേഞ്ച്ഡ് ഡ്യൂറിങ് മസിൽ കോൺട്രാക്ഷൻ. ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് ദ തിക്ക് ആൻഡ് തിൻ മയോസിൻ ഫിലമെന്റ്സ് ഹാസ് ചേഞ്ച്ഡ് റോങ്. തിൻ ഫിലമെന്റ് ചേഞ്ച് ആവുന്നുണ്ട്, തിക്ക് ഫിലമെന്റ് ചേഞ്ച് ആവില്ല. ദ ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് ഐ ബാൻഡ് ഗോട്ട് റെഡ്യൂസ്ഡ്, എ ബാൻഡ് റിട്ടൈൻ ഇറ്റ്സ് ലെങ്ത്. യെസ്, ഐ ബാൻഡ് റെഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു, എ ബാൻഡ് അപ്പോഴും അതേ സെയിം സൈസിൽ തന്നെ നിൽക്കുന്നത്. സോ ഐ ബാൻഡ് റെഡ്യൂസ്ഡ്, എ ബാൻഡ് റിട്ടേൺ സെയിം ലെങ്ത്. കറക്റ്റ് അല്ലേ? ദെൻ സാഡ് ലൈൻ വൈഡൻ, സാർക്കോമിയർ ഷോർട്ടൺ. റോങ് ആണ്. സാഡ് ലൈൻ ഷോർട്ടൺ, സാർക്കോമിയറും ഷോർട്ടൺ. എച്ച് സോൺ അൺഅഫക്റ്റഡ് അല്ല, എച്ച് സോൺ ഡിസപ്പിയർ ചെയ്യും, ദെൻ മസിൽ റിലാക്സ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ റീഅപ്പിയർ ചെയ്യും. സോ ഹിയർ ദ ആൻസർ ഈസ് ഓപ്ഷൻ 2. Next is our skeletal system. Let's go through the skeletal system. Skeletal system. Skeletal system consists of axial skeleton, and appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. So skeletal system consists of axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. Okay. അതിൽ axial skeleton. Axial skeleton എടുത്താൽ axial skeleton consists of skull, vertebral column, ribs and sternum. These are the axial skeleton. So axial skeleton consists of, total axial skeleton consists of 80 bones. 80 bones in our axial skeleton. This axial skeleton consists of skull, vertebral column, ribs are there, and sternum. Skull consists of total 29 bones. Vertebral column 26 bones. Ribs 24 bones. Sternum is the only single bone in our axial skeleton. The only single bone in our axial skeleton is sternum. So skull 29, vertebral column 26, ribs 24 and sternum bone. Okay, so these are the skeletal components of our axial skeleton. Then appendicular skeleton consists of limb bones. They are totally 120 in number, 120 limb bones, and girdle bones, girdles, total 6 bone. So appendicular skeleton consists total 126 bones, 126 bones in our appendicular skeleton, limb bones and girdle bones. These limb bones includes forelimbs consisting 60 bone, hind limb 60 bone. Girdle bones are pectoral girdles. Pectoral girdle consists of 4 bone, and pelvic girdle consists of 2 bones. Thus total 206 bones in our skeletal system. Total 206 bones in our skeletal system. Okay, so these are the bones in our skeletal system, 206 bones. First is axial skeleton. We know axial skeleton consists of total 80 bones, skull, vertebral column, ribs and sternum. First is skull. Skull consists of total 29 bones. What are the 29 bones in skull? The 29 bones are cranial bones, there are 8 cranial bones. So skull bones are first 8 cranial bone. Cranial bones includes frontal 1, parietal 2, temporal 2, occipital 1, then sphenoid, next bone sphenoid 1, and ethmoid bone 1. Thus total 8 cranial bones in our skull. So skull consists of 8 cranial bones. Facial bones, there are total 14. So 14 facial bones. 14 facial bones. So cranial and facial bone constitute for total 22 bones. Then third one, ear ossicles. Skull consists of ear ossicles. Each ear consists of 3 bones. Thus total 6 bones in ear ossicle. 6 bones. They are malleus, incus, and stapes. These are the 3 ear bones, 3 ear ossicle. Total 6. Last bone is hyoid bone. It is the only bone in our skull. The only bone in our skull. It is a U-shaped bone. It is the only bone in our skull without any articulation with other skull bone. മറ്റ് സ്കൾ ബോണുമായി ആർട്ടിക്കുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാത്ത ഒരേ ഒരു സ്കൾ ബോണേ ഉള്ളൂ, അത് ഹയോയിഡ് ബോണാണ്. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ യു ഷേപ്ഡ് ബോൺ. ഇറ്റ് ഹോൾഡ് ദ ടങ് ഓൺ ബക്കൽ ഫ്ലോർ. ടങ്ങിനെയൊക്കെ ബക്കൽ ഫ്ലോറിൽ ഹോൾഡ് ചെയ്യാനൊക്കെ സഹായിക്കുന്നു. ദ ബോൺ ഈസ് ഹയോയിഡ് ബോൺ. ദീസ് ആർ ദ ബോൺസ് ഇൻ അവർ സ്കൾ. ഓക്കെ. Next is vertebral column. Vertebral column. Vertebral column consists of total 26 bones. Each bones are called as vertebrae. So 26 vertebrae in our vertebral column. 26 vertebrae. The 26 vertebrae, and they are among the 26 vertebrae, first 7 passes through the cervical region. 7 cervical vertebrae. Next 12 passes through the thoracic region. 12 thoracic vertebrae. 12 thoracic vertebrae. Next 5 passes through the lumbar region or abdominal region. So 5 lumbar vertebrae. A single bone, 1 sacrum and 1 coccyx. And here sacrum and coccyx, these two are fused bones. This sacrum is actually 5 bone fused to form a single bone is called as sacrum. In embryonic stage it was 5 bone. 5 bone ആയിരുന്നു embryonic stage. That 5 bones fused to form a single bone is called as sacrum. Similarly 4 bone fused to form a single bone is coccyx. 4 bone ആയിരുന്നു embryonic stage. ആ 4 ബോൺ ഫ്യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് ഒരു സിംഗിൾ ബോണാണ് കൊക്കിക്സ്. നമുക്കത് റുഡിമെൻ്ററി ആണ് കൊക്കിക്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, ടെയിൽ ബോൺ എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്നത്. നമ്മളതിന് വെസ്റ്റീജിയലായിട്ടാണ് കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സോ ദീസ് ആർ ദ ടോട്ടൽ 26 ബോൺസ് ഇൻ അവർ വെർട്ടിബ്രൽ കോളം. ആൻഡ് ഹിയർ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ ദ ബോൺ എ കാർട്ടിലേജ് ഈസ് ദെയർ. എ ഫൈബ്രസ് കാർട്ടിലേജ് പ്രസന്റ് ഇൻ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ ദ വെർട്ടിബ്രേ ഓഫ് വെർട്ടിബ്രൽ കോളം കോൾഡ് ആസ് intervertebral disc. Intervertebral disc is a fibrous cartilage present in between the vertebrae of vertebral column. The fibrous cartilage seen in between the vertebrae of vertebral column called as intervertebral disc. The fibrous cartilage seen in between the vertebrae of vertebral column. So our vertebral column formula is C7 T12 L5 S1 and CO1. S and CO within bracket. Number bracket they are fused bone. Embryonic stage they fused ആയിരുന്നു. So ഇത് adult vertebral column formula ആണെങ്കിൽ in adult it is, sorry, in embryonic stage it is C7 T12 L5 S5 CO4. Okay, this is the adult and embryonic vertebral column formula. Next is ribs. Ribs total 24 bones, 12 pairs, 24 bones, 12 pairs of ribs are there. And here the first 7 pairs of ribs, they are dorsally attached to the vertebral column, ventrally they are attached to the sternum. The first 7 pairs. The first 7 pairs of ribs are dorsally attached to the vertebral column, ventrally they are attached to the sternum. So these first 7 pairs of ribs are called as first 7 pairs. The first 7 pairs of ribs are called as vertebro-sternal ribs. The first 7 pairs of ribs are called as vertebro-sternal ribs or true ribs. The first 7 pairs of ribs are called as vertebro-sternal ribs or true ribs. Then 8th, 9th and 10th pairs of ribs. 8th, 9th and 10th pairs. 8th, 9th and 10th pairs of ribs. 8th, 9th and 10th pairs of ribs are dorsally attached to the vertebral column, ventrally they are attached to the sternum. So 8th, 9th and 10th pairs of ribs are called as false ribs or vertebrochondral ribs. False ribs or vertebrochondral ribs, false ribs or vertebrochondral. Okay. Then the 11th and 12th. 11th and 12th pairs of ribs. Dorsally they attach to the vertebral column, ventrally they are free. So 11th and 12th pairs of ribs are called as floating ribs. They are called as floating ribs. These are the ribs, total 24 ribs. So here, find out the number of incorrect matches about human skeleton. Axial skeleton 80 bones, true. Appendicular skeleton 120 bone, wrong. Appendicular skeleton consists total 126 bones. Limb bone 126, wrong. Limb bone consists of 120 bones. Skull bone 26, wrong. Skull bone consisting total 29 bones. Vertebral column 29, wrong. Vertebral column consists of 26 bones. Facial bones 12, wrong ആണ്. Facial bone is 14. Ribs 14, wrong. 12 pairs of ribs ആണുള്ളത്. Girdle bones 2, wrong. Total 6 girdle bones ആണുള്ളത്. So find out the number of incorrect matches. ഇതിൽ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഒഴികെ ബാക്കിയുള്ള എല്ലാം ഇൻകറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. So answer option 4, 7 are incorrect. Find out the correct order of number of bones in the parts of skull such as cranial bone, facial bone, hyoid, middle bone respectively. How many cranial bone? We have 8 cranial bone. How many facial? 14 facial bone. How many hyoid? 1 hyoid. How many middle bones? 6. So 8, 14, 1 and 6. Option 3. Vertebrochondral ribs. We have 3 types of ribs. They are vertebro-sternal or true ribs, vertebrochondral means false ribs, and the floating ribs. First 7 pairs are vertebro-sternal. 8th, 9th and 10th pairs of ribs are called as vertebrochondral ribs. 11 and 12th are floating ribs. So here the vertebrochondral ribs are 8th, 9th and 10th pairs of ribs. Option 2. Which is incorrect regarding each joint with the 2 example. Okay. So we can study the axial skeletal bone. Then is appendicular. Appendicular skeleton consists of girdle bones. Appendicular skeleton consists of girdle bones. Girdle bones include axial and pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Pectoral and pelvic girdle. Girdle bones are pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. These are the girdle bones. Then this pectoral girdle consists. Sorry, before going to study, yes, girdle bone. Let's study girdle bone. Pectoral girdle consists of two. Each there are total two pectoral girdles are there. Total two pectoral girdle, right and left pectoral girdle. Each pectoral girdle consists of two bone. Each pectoral girdle consists of two bones. Thus, total 4 bones in our pectoral girdle. Each pectoral girdle consists of 2 bones. This pectoral girdle bones includes this pectoral girdle consists of a flat triangular bone called as scapula. Consists of a flat triangular bone called as scapula, and it has an extension called acromion process. Acromion process, and the another bone is clavicle. Clavicle is attached to the scapula through this acromion process. Clavicle is attached to the scapula through this acromion process. This is pectoral girdle bone. So each pectoral girdle consists of 2 bones, scapula and clavicle. One scapula and one clavicle. So each right side have 2 bone, left side have 2 bone. That's total 4 bones in our pectoral girdle. That's scapula and clavicle. Clavicle or collarbone. Then just below this acromion process, a cavity is there. This cavity is called as glenoid cavity. This glenoid cavity for articulating the humerus to this glenoid cavity and form the ball and socket jaw. This is pectoral girdle. Then pelvic girdle. Each pelvic girdle consists of 2 bones. Each pelvic girdle consists of a single bone. This is right pectoral girdle, this is left pectoral girdle. So each pectoral girdle consists of a single bone called as coxal bone. That single bone is called as coxal bone. And each coxal bone is a fused bone. This coxal bone is formed by the fusion of 3 bones. Each coxal bone is formed by the fusion of 3 bones. They are ilium, ischium and pubis. So each pelvic girdle consists of 3 bones: ilium, ischium and pubis. This is ilium. This is ilium bone. Ilium, ischium and pubis. These are 3 bones. These 3 bones fused to form the single bone is called as coxal bone. This is the pelvic girdle bone. And the fibrous cartilage is present here. This is the fibrous cartilage. Okay. Next is limb bones. We have limb bones too. The limb bones includes first one forelimb bone. Forelimb bones are humerus, then radius, ulna, humerus 1, radius 1, ulna 1, carpals 8, metacarpals 5 and phalanges. Phalanges are total 14. These are the forelimb bones. These are the bones in forelimbs. Then this glenoid cavity for articulating humerus and form the ball and socket joint. One more. This is the hind limb bone. Let's see the hind limb bones. So this hind limb bones includes, first one is femur, the large bone femur, patella, one femur, one patella, one one tibia, one fibula, one tibia, one fibula, 7 tarsals, 7, then metatarsals, ankle bones, metatarsals, 5 metatarsals and 14 phalanges. Here also 14 phalanges. These are the hind limb bones. So these are the different types of bones in our skeletal system. Next is joints. Next, different types of joints here. 3 types of joints in joints means arthrology, study of joints. Arthrology, study of joint. Junction between the bones are called as joints. 3 types of joints. First one is fibrous joint. These are immovable joints. Fibrous joints are the immovable joints. Joints in our cranial bone. Joints in our cranial bone composed of the fibrous connective tissue. That means the adjacent bones are connected by the fibrous connective tissue called as sutures. There is a fibrous joint. The adjacent bones in cranial bones, the adjacent bones are connected by the fibrous connective tissue called as sutures. Then cartilaginous joint. Cartilaginous joint. These are the highly movable joints. The highly movable joint is limited movable joint. Limited movement. It permits only limited movement. This cartilaginous joint permits only limited movement. This cartilaginous joint seen in the vertebral column and also in this pubic symphysis, between the pubic bone, the cartilaginous joints, which provide limited movement. Then third one is synovial. Okay, next is synovial joints. Synovial joints are the highly movable joints. The synovial joints contain a synovial membrane. Synovial membrane is filled with the synovial fluid and a hyaline cartilage is there. Questions nokam. So which is correct regarding each joints and 2 example. Pivot joint. Pivot is a synovial joint between the atlas and axis. The first vertebra is called as atlas. First vertebra is called as atlas and second one is called as axis. So synovial joint between atlas and axis is pivot joint, correct. Between radius and ulna is also a pivot joint, correct another. Then hinge joint. There are 2 types of hinge joint. The knee joint as well as elbow joint. Elbow joint and knee joint. This elbow and knee joint. Kalmuttilen kaimuttilen joint എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് hinge joint. And the knee joint is the largest synovial joint. നമ്മുടെ ബോഡിയിലെ largest synovial joint എന്നറിയപ്പെടുന്നത് knee joint ആണ്. Okay. So elbow joint, knee joint, interphalangeal ഈ കാണുന്നതൊക്കെ ഒരു ഡയറക്ഷനിൽ മാത്രം മൂവ് ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ്. അതെല്ലാം ഈ hinge jointൽ വരുന്നതാണ്. Gliding or sliding joint between carpals and metacarpals. Sorry, between the carpals. ഈ റിസ്റ്റിലെ കാർപ്പൽസിനിടയിൽ കാണപ്പെടുന്ന ജോയിന്റ് ഒക്കെ ഗ്ലൈഡിംഗ് ജോയിന്റ് ആണ്, കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. Saddle between carpophalangeal is wrong. Between carpo-metacarpal joint of thumb, wrong. So കാണുന്ന saddle joint between carpals and metacarpals. Between carpals and metacarpals. So answer is option D. Incorrect one is option D. Osteoporosis is an age-related disease of skeletal system may occur due to accumulation of uric acid leads to inflammation of joint. Not. It is called as gout arthritis. Accumulation of uric acid leads to the inflammation of joints are called as gout arthritis. അതിന് പറയുക arthritis അല്ലെങ്കിൽ inflammation of joints എന്ന് പറയുക. അതൊരു ഡിസോർഡർ ആണ് arthritis. Arthritis means inflammation of joints. പല ടൈപ്പ് arthritis ഉണ്ട്. അതിലൊന്നാണ് rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis means inflammation of joint due to autoimmunity. അത് autoimmunity കൊണ്ടുണ്ടായ arthritis ആണ്. inflammation of joints due to autoimmunity are called as rheumatoid arthritis. Next type of arthritis is gout arthritis. Gout arthritis is due to the accumulation of uric acid. Arthritis due to the accumulation of uric acid is called as gout arthritis. Then immune disorder affecting neuromuscular junction leading to fatigue. It is an autoimmune disease leads to neuromuscular junction, affect neuromuscular junction, that is called as myasthenia gravis. This disease called as myasthenia gravis. Disorder is myasthenia gravis. Okay. Higher concentration of sodium and calcium. No, sodium higher concentration ആണെങ്കിൽ ബോൺ, കാൽഷ്യം കോൺസെൻട്രേഷൻ ആണെങ്കിൽ ബോൺ ബ്രിട്ടിൽ ആവുകയല്ല ചെയ്യുക, അതിൻ്റെ മാസ് കൂടുകയാണ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. The decreased level of estrogen, one of the cause of osteoporosis in old age women. ഫീമെയിൽസിലൊക്കെ ഓസ്റ്റിയോപോറസിസ് ഉണ്ടാകാനുള്ള മെയിൻ റീസൺ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഈസ്ട്രോജൻ ഡെഫിഷ്യൻസിയാണ്. സോ ഹിയർ ദ ആൻസർ ഈസ് ഓപ്ഷൻ 4. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഇതാണ് നമുക്ക് ഈ ഫസ്റ്റ് ചാപ്റ്ററുമായി റിലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സോറി, ലോക്കോമോഷൻ മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ് എന്ന ചാപ്റ്ററിൽ റിലേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ഇത്രയാണ്. ഓക്കെ.